everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to generate webinar scripts using AI agent. So I'm a business coach and I regularly host many webinars with my audience. Now over here, writing the scripts for each and every webinar is a very time consuming and a hectic task. So to solve that problem, I have created an AI agent using Pabbly Connect. I manage all my webinars with the help of LiveWebinar. So now over here, whenever a new webinar is going to be created in my LiveWebinar account, automatically an AI agent is going to generate the script according to the webinar title and the agenda of the webinar that I've created. As soon as the content of the script is going to be generated, as I want to create the proper documentation of it, I am using Google Docs to create the document. In Google Docs, I have already created a template, and using that template, I am creating the documentation of the script. So now if you want to learn this entire process of creating this AI agent without writing a single line of code, then let me take you to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to generate webinar scripts using AI agent. So I'm a business coach and I frequently host webinars to educate entrepreneurs and professionals on scaling their businesses. I use LiveWebinar to schedule each new webinar sessions, and whenever a new webinar is created, it is automatically going to be forwarded towards an AI agent that instantly generates a personalized engaging webinar script based on the topic and the key points. And finally, I use Google Docs to create the proper documentation of the generated script in one place. And for that, I have created a template using which I'm going to generate the documentation. And I'm going to create this amazing AI agent using Pabbly Connect. For that, on a new tab, I'm going to browse the website of Pabbly Connect, that is www.pabbly.com/connect. Then Pabbly Connect's landing page is going to appear in front of you, on which we have two options: sign in or sign up for free. If you're an existing user, you can directly sign into your Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. I am an existing user, so I'm going to directly sign into my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the All Pabbly apps window in front of you, in which you can see all the applications that Pabbly provides, from which I'm going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on this Access Now button beneath it. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. And now to create a new AI agent, I'm going to create a new workflow. For that, click on this Create Workflow button. And firstly, we have to name the workflow, which is going to be AI agent to generate webinar scripts. Okay. For the folder, these are the folders from which I'm going to select this AI agents folder and click on this Create button. A new workflow is then going to be created. And in the workflow, you can see that there are two windows in front of you. One is the trigger window, other is the action window. So what is trigger and action? Trigger and action are the two most important steps of our automation process, because our process depends on these two principles. Over here, trigger says when this happens, and action says do this. That means what is action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step but multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step first, in which for my trigger application, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as LiveWebinar. As soon as a new webinar is going to be created in my LiveWebinar account, I want the trigger over here should capture the response of that. That is why my trigger application is LiveWebinar, and the trigger event over here is going to be Webinar Create. After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that Pabbly Connect has provided us with the webhook URL. Now, using the unique webhook URL and by following the steps given here below in the help desk, we are going to build a connection between LiveWebinar and Pabbly Connect. So firstly, I'm going to copy this URL from here and log into my LiveWebinar account. Now to connect this account to Pabbly Connect, from the left side, if I'm going to scroll on, it says integrations. I'm going to click on it. Then go to this REST webhooks right over here. Then the webhooks page is going to appear in front of you. And now to create a new webhook, click on this add new webhook option right over here. It is asking for the event first. For the event over here in the help desk, it says with get create right here. So for the event over here, I'm going to select it as create right over here as my event. Method is going to be post, and for the URL, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us, and then simply I'm going to click on this save button right here. You can see a new webhook has been added in my LiveWebinar account. So this is how you build a connection between LiveWebinar and Pabbly Connect. If I'm going to go back to my workflow, it says waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether LiveWebinar is successfully connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new webinar over here in my LiveWebinar account. I'm going to schedule a new webinar. And after that, I'm going to check whether automatically the trigger over here captures the response of the new webinar or not. Okay. For that, I'm going to schedule a webinar from here. It is asking for the name of the webinar and all the details. So I'm going to fill in all the details right here. So these are the details of the scheduled webinar. 5 proven strategies to scale your business in 2025. These are the tags. The date this webinar is scheduled is on 30th of June 2025 at 12 p.m. and it is for 3 hours, that is 180 minutes. Time zone is Asia, Kolkata. And as I wanted to add an event agenda, I toggled this button on, and this is my agenda. You can see right over here, that is join this exclusive session where I'll walk you through 5 exceptional proven strategies to grow your business faster in 2025. You can see these are the points and this is the target audience I've mentioned in the agenda right here. So as I've filled in all the required details of this webinar, I'm going to schedule this webinar from here. And as I've done that, you can see the webinar has now been successfully scheduled in my LiveWebinar account. Okay, you can see this webinar has now been successfully scheduled. Okay. So as now a new webinar has been created, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down, and yes, you can see right over here, the response of the new webinar has been captured in my trigger. So now let us tally the response right over here. I'm going to search for the name first. The name is 5 Proven Strategies to Scale Your Business in 2025. This was the name. If I'm going to further scroll down right over here, this is the agenda, okay? This is the agenda that I've written right here. You can see over here, this is the joining thing, the points and the target audience. The entire agenda has been captured in my trigger right here. So as now the response has been successfully captured in my trigger of the new webinar been created, this means that we have successfully connected LiveWebinar to Pabbly Connect. After connecting LiveWebinar to Pabbly Connect and capturing the response of the webinar being created in our trigger, now using the webinar details, I'm going to use an AI agent to generate the script for me for this webinar. For that, I'm going to add an action step in this workflow, in which for my action application, I am using OpenAI. Yes. For my AI agent, I am using OpenAI. But if you want to use any other AI platforms as your AI agent, you can definitely do that. For the action event, I'm going to select ChatGPT and then I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you on which click on add new connection, and then it is asking for the token. For having the token, go to this hyperlink given here below in the help desk right here. The API keys page of my OpenAI account is then going to appear in front of you. And now to generate a new token, go to this create new secret key button right over here. After that, firstly, it is asking for the name of my key. So for the name, let's suppose I'm going to write it as new. Project is going to be default. Permissions is all. And then I'm going to generate the token from here. I'm going to copy this token from here and paste it in this field right here and click on the save button to build the connection. OpenAI is connected to Pabbly Connect. After that, firstly, it is asking for me to select the AI model for which I'm using GPT-4o Mini. But if you want to use any other AI models as per your business requirement, you can definitely do that. It is asking for the prompt next. Prompt is a text with the help of which an AI agent is going to generate the content as per our requirement. In the prompt over here, we need to specify all the things that we want and do not want. So for the prompt over here, I'm going to write it as... So this is the prompt. You are a professional webinar script writer. Generate a compelling webinar script based on the following details. Structure it with an engaging introduction, smooth topic transcribes, valuable insights, and clear closing call to action. Maintain a confident and conversational tone. Here are the webinar details. Over here, it is asking for the title, the description, and the duration over here. Now for the data of these fields, I'm going to map the data. Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So I'm going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. How it works is that as soon as I'm going to select the field, the previous step is going to appear in front of you. And as I'm going to click on it, the response that was captured in our previous step is going to appear in front of you. It is asking for the webinar title, and over here in the response, I've received the name of the webinar. So as I want to generate the script for this webinar, I'm going to select the data, the name of my webinar from my previous response. As now I've selected the data from my previous response, the data has now been mapped. And as I've mapped this data, the data has now become dynamic. That means now whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. It is asking for the points. Over the points, I'm going to map the data of the points right over here. These are the points. And lastly, it is asking for the duration. For the duration, I'm going to map the data of the duration that I've received right here. So this is the duration. I'm going to map the data, okay? And it was in minutes, so I've written it as minutes. After giving the prompt and selecting the AI model, I'm going to click on this Save and Send Test Request button right here. As I've done that, I have received a response. In the response, I have received this message content, and this is the script generated by my AI agent. Webinar script for 5 proven strategies to scale your business in 2025. And you can see the entire script is generated for this title right over here by my AI agent. If I'm going to go through some of the script right over here, it says, hello everyone and welcome to today's exclusive webinar on 5 proven strategies to scale your business in 2025. You can see this is the script for this topic that we have entered only, okay? So as now the script is generated, to create the proper documentation of the script, I'm using Google Docs, okay? In my Google Docs, I have created a template, and using the template, I'm going to generate the scripts, okay? In the template, I have added a variable. What is a variable? You can see in front of the value, and at the end of the value, I've added these 2 curly brackets. This becomes a variable. In place of the variable, I'm going to enter the script right here, okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up an action step in this workflow, in which from action application, I'm going to select it as Google Docs right here. Action event over here is going to be create document from template, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on our new connection. Then click on this sign in with Google button right over here. It is asking for us to select an account. Which account do we want to connect to Pabbly Connect? So this is the account. I'm going to select it from here. Then it is asking for us to give the access for this account. For this, I'm going to click on this allow button, as this is safe process and my data is perfectly safe with Pabbly Connect. So I'm going to click on this allow button. As I've done that, Google Docs is connected to Pabbly Connect. After connecting, firstly, it is asking for me to select the template document. For the template, I have created a template in the name of webinar script template. So for the template over here, I'm going to select it as webinar script template. Okay. Now out of the template, multiple documents of the scripts are going to be created. We have to name those documents. So for the name, I'm going to map the date of the webinar name right over here. So this is the webinar name, and next to it, I'm going to write over here as script. Okay, so this is the name of the new document. It is asking for the new document's location. For the location, I have created a folder in my Google Drive in the name of webinar script. So for the location over here, I'm going to search for the folder that I've created. So this is the folder. I'm going to select it right here. Then it is asking for the webinar AI script, and over here in this template, this is the variable that is webinar AI script. So I'm going to map the data of the script right over here, as I want to add this right here. And then simply I'm going to click on this save and send test request button. Now, as I've clicked on the save and send test request button, automatically I've received a response in which I've received this document ID, which is a positive response. So if I'm going to open my Google Drive folder right over here, you can see automatically a new document has been added in my Google Drive folder. And if I'm going to open this document, this is the same AI generated script has been created as a documentation. You can see right over here, okay? So as now the document of the AI generated script has been created, this means that we have successfully created this amazing AI agent with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum till now what we have done, the trigger is live webinar, webinar create. As soon as a new webinar is going to be created in my live webinar account, automatically the trigger is going to capture the response of that. In the response, we will receive the webinar title and the description. Using the details, our AI agent, that is OpenAI ChatGPT, is going to generate us a script for the webinar. And as the content of the script is going to be generated, I want to create the proper documentation of it. For that, I have used Google Docs create document from template. And in this manner, I have created this amazing AI agent to generate webinar scripts without need of any coding and programming skills with the help of Pabbly Connect. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.
Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple applications using Pabbly Connect. If you have any doubts, you can send us email on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can ask us queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel and hit the like button down there.